Tonight on Hunter's podcast, big ol' episode, we have an interview with Bone Daddy himself from the Woods of Terror. And we're also going to talk a little Jimmy Fallon Tonightmares. Oh, all that on this episode of Hunter's podcast. Welcome to Hunter's Podcast. I am Mr. Original Zach Hilton, and alongside with me is the person that only likes IP, Brooke.
That's me.
That's her, IP only.
The fact that you, like that wonderful, has never caught on to saying something, and I have to have my tagline. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only you, my husband,
Only
would put
you.
me in a position. Listen, I like IPs. What can I say?
What can I say? I'll tell you what you could say. You could say on September 6th. What was that?
His like little saying.
September 6th, we will be live at Edinburgh's location of Cinema Cafe doing Tim Burton trivia for the Beetlejuice premiere. That's right. If you want to come hang out with Brooke and Zach and do some Tim Burton trivia,
Yeah.
we'll be there. First game's going to go about 6 p.m. and it should run to almost 7. There's plenty of showings of Beetlejuice
Plenty.
that you can go to. You can watch it with us, maybe. Who knows? But we'll check you out on that. We are going to go ahead and cut in to the interview I had with Eddie, Bone Daddy, from the Woods of Terror.
Yeah.
You and I have looked at Woods of Terror. We've seen some sick vlogs of what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks very
Creepy.
very creepy, but also just so
Scary.
much energy and scare, animatronics, scare actors. It looks like a Halloween party, but I'm not going to talk about it. He's going to talk about it. Bone Daddy is going to tell us about Woods of Terror. Let's go ahead and cut to that interview right now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around. Hunter's Podcast, your favorite podcast. We have a wonderful interview coming up right now. We have the owner and operator of Woods of Terror, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina. They are running from September 13th through November 9th. Woods of Terror. They're at 5601 North Church Street, Greensboro, North Carolina, if you want to check them out. And after this interview, I think you're going to realize how big and awesome in scope that this haunt has created. And we're going to talk to owner, operator, Eddie McLaurin, who is also known as Bone Daddy. So he's my favorite Bone Daddy, your favorite Bone Daddy. Eddie, thanks for being on Hunter's Podcast, brother.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I've been all over your socials. I've been looking and getting prepped for our visit, which we'll be doing in September. It's been 33 years that your Woods of Terror have been running. Like, how exciting is it that this is something that has lasted 33 years and just keeps getting bigger every year?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's hard to even think that I've been running it for 33 years. It feels like maybe 21. But, when you think back at anybody's business or successful business, a lot of businesses don't make it. And we just seem to be hitting our prime stretch right here. So it's went in a couple phases. The first 10 years, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't come from a haunter's background. I started it, the first haunt I ever worked at, and hit the second 10 years. Found out about Transworld, started going to Transworld, seeing vendors and meeting all these new people that were making a living at doing Halloween. And, I was asking these guys, hey, what do you do for a living? And they were like, I do Halloween. And I'm like, I'll do a heating and air. I don't want to do that my whole life. How do I do Halloween my whole life? So met met guys like Ben Armstrong from Netherworld, and he was like, "No, I do Halloween every day," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do." So
Right.
after 18 years of Woods of Terror, I quit working for anybody else. Started working for Woods of Terror full time,
Wow.
and man, it's I don't know what took so long, but man, it seemed like it took a while. But around 20, 26, 27 years, man, we started exploding, and our attraction started getting better, and started
Mm.
some of my actors started hanging around, working for me longer, man, and it's just really hit its stride in the last couple of years. Started bringing in tons of guest actors from all over the states, and it's been a cool ride. It's cool to be the owner of it, and looking towards the future, hoping I can make it to at least 53 years.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're on the perfect road to get there because you guys do a thing that I'm very like I yell from the rooftops about this is like I love going to haunts, and when you can make a haunt go longer than just whatever the initial haunted house that you go through, because like some places it's like, okay, I go through, I'm done, where do I go now? I'm still full of adrenaline and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it seems like you got this mapped out perfectly with the Monster Midway. That's where people can wait. You get to listen to live music, DJs, there's food, there's beverage for all ages. It seems like you've initiated a Halloween party throughout the entire season. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it came out of necessity. Probably 20 years ago, I noticed that the lines were getting longer and longer, and obviously people don't like to wait. And my biggest thing was they wouldn't get out of line to spend money. So I come up with the Midway idea. I guess that's probably going into about its 21st year.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a couple years to get that. Um, it didn't flow right the first year. And the second year, I used to use poker cards, and then I used names. And now it's a lot easier with technology. I queue them like a restaurant would. I take your number, I queue you, and I want you to get in line. So it gives you the freedom to be in the Midway and check out axe throwing and boutiques, use the bathroom, get some food. And then, of course, if you want to hang around longer, you're welcome to hang around longer. And
Right.
you can't hardly go to a haunted house probably across the United States, more or less North Carolina, that doesn't have a Midway now. Um,
Yeah.
when I first started it, I only knew of two in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and the one guy I called, his haunted house closed. So it was really hard for me to find people that could tell me and help me how to run that. Now,
Right.
of course, we have a house band, and that band is really, really good. I mean, this band could play anywhere at any of the clubs. So
Mm-hmm.
last year I had a guy said, "Hey, I like this. This is an awesome experience. I just thought it'd be a little longer." And I said, "Well, have you went in the haunted house?" And he goes, "No, where's that?" He was in the Midway. He thought that was the whole show. So I said, "Well, have you been in the haunted houses?" He goes, "No. Where are they at?" But it was a great compliment for the guy to say, "Man, this was incredible. I just thought it'd be longer." But
Right.
man, people love our Midway, and then we have tons of people that now come and they stay for the whole night, and which is great. I'm glad they can get a whole night of entertainment out of it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been really successful. And now we're going into our second year of meet and greets. A lot of people want to come in and meet our characters and meet our icons, and you can come
Right.
in before. I mean, really, like we're letting you in before anybody's in the Midway. So I'm trying to find other ways to expand the Midway and make it more interesting for the people that love Woods of Terror.
I think that's perfect. Like the fact that that was one of my questions, is the Midway open to you for the entirety of the event of that night to go to before or after you go through the haunted house? But you guys have like attractions out there. Like that guy obviously saw scare actors walking around. You had acts performing, so I'm sure he had a ball of a time.
Mhm.
Um, with the houses themselves, one thing that I picked up, it says there's like 16 different attractions that you go through. And it seems like a steady course. It's like one haunted house that just will not stop, but you get a different variety through them. You get like phobia from the get. You get clowns at one point. You even get icons that you've seen all your lives pop up through this. How did you come up with an idea of like, we need to make this Bad Mamma Jammy long and refreshing throughout for someone to go through?
Well, when I was 21, I thought I'm going to have the biggest, the longest, the best, the most expensive haunted house. And I got it now. And I'm like, Lord, this is hard to maintain and hard to keep up. But and what I realized is, and it's more so even today with our phone, and so we're flipping on TikTok. Our minds are, you got to entertain them, and then your mind changes. Right. So I said, well, why don't we go on an average of 2,000 to 3,000 square foot haunted houses? We'll change the scene. So if you go into Jack's Revenge, it used to be my cornfield. So Jack's Revenge is about Jack, who's taking revenge on the little kids that carved him during the season, and it's all about pumpkins. And of course, that's gave us a great opportunity to go into a vintage theme. I love the 80s and the 90s with the pumpkins. So what I do is, every probably 10 to 12 minutes, I'm changing the scenes on you, and I switch it up. So this year the show will probably be definitely over an hour. Wow. And it's hard to entertain people for 45 minutes, more or less an hour. But, with the addition of our new Baba Yaga house, the Baba Yaga house is going to push it well over an hour experience. And I think I do a really good job of switching it up and entertaining. So I keep your mind busy. But after an hour, it's going to be tough. So I don't think it could be much longer. Plus, pushing 125, 130 actors is tough.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to. Yeah, so we have a lot of actors, and so I think a lot of people, it's a hidden gem. A lot of people don't know we're that big and we're that long, and but if they first time they come here, they're gonna be blown away.
You hear that? Bone Daddy is the biggest and longest. Remember that. You brought it up, the Baba Yaga. Like, this is the house that you're working on for this year, and if you go to their social media on Instagram, the Woods of Terror, you guys are throwing updates all the time on it. And what's kind of rad about that, you don't get a lot of behind the scenes footage for haunts on the regular. You guys are out there showing it. I've seen you go through kind of yard sale kind of things, picking up objects that you want in your haunt, and you're picking them up to put throughout the house somewhere. You don't know where it's going to go. You're just going to put it there. So what was the idea of like showing what you got coming this year, the Baba Yaga?
Well, I think people would be amazed if they seen the trouble, the hardships, the hard work. I think a lot of people think it's easy, and I'm like, man, it's one of the toughest things I've ever did. And there's not a lot of people that could run a haunted attraction this big and get it done in the way we do it. And, we talk about, we might even talked about maybe doing a Japanese anime haunted house. I sat the guys and talked to them, and I said, man, me trying to run a Japanese haunted house, very hard for me to find the decor. And where am I going to get it? Be very expensive, have to ship it in from, probably from Japan. I said, but if we did a Baba Yaga house, I can, do witch scenes. I can pull a lot of stuff here or there. So have a great builder, Nathan Fultz, great maintenance man, Devin, great scene director, Ron Visengard. So even now we got the Baba Yaga set up. We got 20-foot tent, slam full of decorations. And I just crammed the tent full, and I let Ryan pick out what he wants to pick out. And always amazed at how he can make it look so authentic.
How long does it take this process from start to finish? Is it like right after haunt season's over last year and you guys are working from the get, like how you met that guy and he was like, Halloween's my job? Is this like a full year stat for your creators?
Oh yeah, it would have been, and that's the one thing that we even have probably not gotten out there the way we should have. So in November, we started tearing out the Purge. We had that for several years, and it was my worst attraction, and I had a lot of junk in there. So it took us about a month to clear that out and tear everything out. And then it was very unlevel, and I probably worked on it with the Bobcat for over 100 hours. We probably removed 200 loads of dirt. So we had to build a brick wall, retaining wall. So we had to do that. And that took me all the way up to March because, I try to go on vacation a little bit, and then we got Trans World. So there's always something interrupting our work. And then in April, we poured 20, 16 deep, 24 inches wide concrete pillars to put this thing on. So, you're talking $5,000 in concrete. So we put this Baba Yaga house on stilts, kind of like you would see a beach house. So, because next year we have plans to add the basement to it. So it was probably a 6-month process to get ready before we could start building. So it is a year-long. I know an attraction we're going to put in next year, and I've already worked on that attraction probably 80 hours, getting the land prepped, getting ready, lining stuff up, the build, lining up blocks and cement, stuff like that. So I have to think way in advance to get these things done. I don't know if people think they can be built in 2 or 3 months. It's just not possible.
Mm-hmm. Do you, out of all these, and I kind of want to I don't want to have Baba Yaga be it because it is a new experience, but going through this year, is there a section that is your favorite? Like when I just seen the videos, if it's still there, hopefully, the movie section, where like you have a movie theater built out, and it's kind of my favorite part of your haunt is like it's half inside, it's half outside. You don't know where you're going. So do you have a section that like I love when people go through this one?
So probably the Calypso house is really good. It's a tree house I built on stilts. At the time, I didn't know of anybody that had a tree house in any haunted house. I know there's two now in North Carolina. But the Texas house was probably my favorite build, the back part. When you go into the garage, I built it out of telephone poles like you would see an old shed, like your granddaddy would have, and he would have the car parked under there. So we got a Studebaker under there. We got a chain hoist with the motor, and I got nuts and bolt bins, and I just got tons of nuts and bolts and filled them up. Really looks like it's really real. That's probably the biggest thing, is making it look real for the realism. We do have a big movie section. In the beginning, I didn't want to do a lot of movie characters. I wanted to be original, but my exit poll survey, and I always said, I want to see Jason, I want to see Freddy, I want to see Michael. And it is one of our popular attractions. So we added those in, and, thank goodness the movies, every year they release a new movie, whether it's Michael or Jason or the new Freddy. And so they always keep that stirring. So even for the young kids, they all know who Jason and Michael is, and the movies is a great hit.
Nice. That's awesome. The thing that I adore that you guys do as well is a ticket option. Like you have your general, then you have your fast pass, and then you also have like this golden ticket opportunity where you have a meet and greet, meet spelled the correct way. And this is during the midway, and you kind of touched on it at the beginning, where it's like you get to come in before, you meet all these scary icons, and then there's a parade that happens where all of them, and it's 100 of scare actors that are coming through this bad boy. And if you want more information on this golden ticket, make sure you go to woodsofterror.com. They're up there for information. But like, what is it like during a pre-show where it's just engagement with these guys, and how is the reception for it? Because I think this is something anybody who loves haunts would want to do, to kind of like face your fear.
Yeah, well, what I noticed, probably going back 10 years, is a lot of people wanted more. They wanted more interaction, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep it affordable for people that, whether middle class or lower middle class, so they can afford to come to this thing. But man, the stuff that you buy for Woods of Terror, man, anything. I remember when I started, a load of gravel was $324. Now it's $930, and I get 20 loads of gravel a year. And so it's tough. But so what I did, I thought I'll keep the general admission lower, and I'll give this higher price, but I'll give these people more. I'll give them the keepsake lanyard. They They get a wristband and they get free 3D glasses, and they get to go in anytime they want. They get to go in first. So we're putting these people in front, and there's a lot of people that are willing to pay for that. And with the meet and greet, I really thought, it'd be 12 to 15, but we did an incentive program with our actors that if they did good and they could get ready and in time they could come out. So last year, I would say that there was probably 5 to 6 actors per person. So if we had 12 people in the midway for the meet and greet, they had at least 5 actors surrounding them. So right now, the meet and greet is incredibly lopsided. It's 36 actors and 10 customers. So I think, this year, of course, I think the meet and greet will become more popular. And it was my first year. And a lot of people don't know what it is. And it's something that if somebody else is doing this, I don't know about it. But I wanted to do something nobody else is doing. And as we continue to grow our icon program, you can come in and meet these people. And a lot of times, some of these icons are in attractions where you can't stop and take pictures with them. So if you want to see them and meet them, you need to come to the meet and greet, and you can meet them and take pictures with them. And that's before the show starts. So I think once the meet and greet word gets out and people understand it better, I think it'll be a big hit.
It's why I wanted to mention it. It's you guys are very competitive with like Halloween Horror Nights. Like they are very much, what else can we do to make this a better experience for you? Like for me, we're 4 hours away from you. Like I'm not just going to want to come to the haunt. I'm going to come and do as much as possible. And it's just a neat idea of making, once again, it's a Halloween party, and you guys have some very vivid scare actors that obviously love what they do. It looks like you guys are just a very close-knit family that want to bring this horror to the world. What's the process of finding scare actors that fit your mold?
Well, I took the attitude, if they want to come and put in the hard work, we're going to keep you and we're going to train you. So I have Alan Hobbs come in from Texas. He runs Dark Hour. And I think if anybody's willing to learn, we can train actors. So, you might have one actor that's really, really good, and one actor might take 3 years. But everybody's got to get it in them. We have to train them and get it out of them. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of my great actors are homegrown right here, started here, stayed here, been here. And a lot of these kids just improve every year. And we rate actors 1 through 4, 4 being the worst. But a lot of times our 4 actors by the end of the seasons are number 2s, and they come back the next year and end up being number 1s. So we got to, and the reason we do rate them is when we put them in attractions, I'll put a number 1 actor beside a number 4 actor, and I'll say, look, they're a first year actor. I want you watch them and see how they're doing. And then next thing you know, and of course they get plenty of practice. And by the end of the year, all the actors are probably on a scale of 1 to 2. And it makes for a really great acting experience.
Wow, that's pretty great. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like the kind of mentorship of it, trying to help. It's not holding anybody down. It's helping each other to make sure you guys give that great experience for everyone. Going back to, this is a selfish thing for me, because I love when you can also promote yourself in different ways. Like, obviously there's t-shirts. Obviously you can make different buttons or stuff like that. But I saw this the other day on your Instagram. You guys have a set of beer. I big beer guy over here, and I saw this. They glow in the dark. They're your own ales, IPAs. You even got your own Bone Daddy lager. Like, where did this idea come from, and are these going to be sold at the event?
Yeah, so man, that's why I love running Wizardteer. I always get to do great things. So man, we've been working on this for 6 months. We had to go. So what I did was I went to a local brewery, and he said, do you want your own beer? And I said, no, what is your best selling beer? And he said, I've got this American lager. I said, okay, that's what I want. Because I want beer that, you get a beer, I want it to be good. I want it to taste good. So we got our beer and liquor license 2 years ago, and that has just exploded. and a buddy down in Florida had made a beer, and so I said, "Man, I wonder if I can do that here." So we got those three, and so adding with all that, um, Ryan Visengard came in, and we ended up tearing out my vampire house, and he said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna make this a blacklight attraction." And I thought, okay, that's cool because they already have 3D glasses from the Funhouse. Right. And what we found was just that people just loved it, and everybody wanted 3D glasses. And I said, you know what? So my midway this year is probably going to have 50 black lights in it. We're going to have blacklight beer, blacklight attractions. So when I went to the lady, I said, hey, I want these things. When you walk by the blacklight, I want the things to glow. So this year we're really pushing 3D glasses. We have three attractions that are blacklight. The Phobia House is new blacklight this year. You got our beer that's blacklight. We're going to light the stage up with purple lights, and then we're going to sing Purple Rain on top of that. So, awesome. So just a great way to promote. And of course, yes, we're going to actually next Tuesday, I'm going to the brewery. I get to watch it being poured and printed. So going to be a great opportunity for us. And awesome. I'm excited to see if what I don't know is if I'm going to bring the same cans back every year, or we're going to do different sets every year. Right. So hopefully it'll be a collector's item. You will be able to take this home with you. You can buy it at the gift shop and take it home, or you can drink it on site.
Oh, and wow, that's awesome.
So, and we're going to offer all those beers $1 cheaper than all our normal beers. So we want you to test it, try it out. And I took one of my buddies with me, and he tasted all the beers. He said, man, I love them all. So I think it'll be a great opportunity, great experience, and another way to have Woods of Terror swag.
Awesome. Yeah. That's how I kind of look at it. And for some reason, as a spooky guy, I love anything that, hell, I'm drinking water that's just spooky. Like, you guys you're cornering the market, and that's what I'm here for. To get a little background on you, because like your event is going to be amazing. Once again, Woods of Terror, check them out on Instagram, Facebook. You seem like you're into the spooky as well. Like, you're kind of the icon of the event. There's a big, crazy statue of you with your big goddamn snake. And you walk around the event with said snake. Like, where did Bone Daddy come from?
Well, to be truthful and honest, I was married for the first time, and she wanted to take off on me, so she left. I started working for Woods of Terror full time. I said, I'm going to cut a mohawk, and I'm going to carry a snake around. Kind of started off as a joke, but ended up going to Myrtle Beach, drove my casket car down there, walked into a leather shop, and there was Bone Daddy's jacket hanging on the wall. And I said, that jacket's coming home with me. I walked into Midway the next year, and somebody turned around and said, what's up, Bone Daddy? So here we are, I guess 16 years later. And but it's been a great experience, and I tried to get in a magazine one time, and they said, well, we want pictures of you. And I went, what do you mean pictures of me? I thought you wanted pictures of the haunted house. So it quickly evolved to, okay, if you want pictures of me, I'll give you pictures of Bone Daddy. So, and it really worked out well. It all was kind of like just on a whim and a joke, just to have fun. But it's really worked out great.
That's radical. Like, do you, I mean, obviously owner operator, making one of the biggest, baddest haunts around. Like, is horror your bag? Like, do you love watching horror movies? Is that how this all escalated? Being like, I want to make an event because I love this horror, whether book or movie, show. Like, is horror like your thing?
I like some horror stuff. I think more than anything, it comes from the production side of it. I love putting on the show, running the event, going out to antique shops and yard sales, finding the stuff to build it. And what happened was ended up with a great maintenance man. I used to work behind stage, make sure everything run. And when I got my Devin, the great maintenance man, I said, look, if you got this, I'm going to go into Midway and play Bone Daddy. So he's been here about 12 years, and it's allowed me the freedom, and I don't even carry a radio anymore. So I go inside and I let the woods run. Don't worry about it. Cause I mean, man, I've really come to love to meet the customers, the people that come back 6 and 7 years in a row, people that have driven from Jersey or Virginia Beach, Virginia, coming to see me and just to meet those people. And that's the great part. I love the show. I mean, if there was another show I could run, I would do it. But I think it comes from being a little kid. You built forts in the woods and you always wanted to build stuff. And I just get to do that as an adult, and it's been great.
Well, I also read that you've also been around some cemeteries. So I think as a kid, you've dealt with kind of the spookiness from the get.
Yeah, I don't even advertise it a lot, but there is a cemetery on my property.
Yeah.
You used to think it had about 16 graves. I think now it's probably got more like 24. Of course, I've never dug one up or anything, but
No.
that's always been on the property, and it's a great addition to the show. But man, we just love running Woods of Terror and putting out a great product for the people.
I think you guys are doing the Lord's work in that kind of vein. Everything that I've seen, you guys make a production that is kind of hard to duplicate. You're making Halloween parties throughout the season, and once again, you can go from September 13th through November 9th, Woods of Terror, 5601 North Church Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Bone Daddy, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you would like to plug from the event before I let you go, like special nights that maybe there's lights on, lights off, no actors? Like, do you have any of that going on?
Well, November 8th and 9th, that's the furthest we've ever been out by one day. So on November 1st and 2nd, we'll run normal Halloween. So we are running Terror in the Darkness on 8th and 9th. September the 13th, tickets are $13 right now. That's the lowest ticket prices I've had in 20 years. Just want to blow up Friday, Saturday, September the 13th, want to blow that up and have a great time. And the biggest thing is if you're driving to come see me, don't miss the parade. Don't miss the beginning of the night, man. I hate when people miss that and we can't reproduce the parade, but go ahead and come early, get here. It's going to be a totally different experience if you come in early. I think you'll be blown away, and you're going to have a great time either way, but missing the parade is really bad. So don't miss the parade.
And I'm going to say this: get that golden ticket, because he said here you can go through whenever you want. So if he's saying come watch this parade, you get a meet and greet, you get to see this parade, you get to hang out in Midway, and then you could say, you know what, I'm ready for these haunted houses. Let's go check this one out. Once again, Eddie, thanks for coming on Haunters Podcast, talking about your event. I can't wait to come down, check it out. Brooke's going to be terrified. Brooke's my wife. She is absolutely the one you want to come for. So when we come down, look out for Brooke.
All right, I'll put the snake around her neck.
Yeah, that'll go over well. Awesome. Thank you, Eddie.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
Woo! What an interview.
Oh my God.
With the Bone Daddy.
Yeah.
All right. So, one more time, just in case, Woods of Terror, September 13th through November 9th, 5601 North Church Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. They have all their information on their socials, Woods of Terror. Check them out. They have so much going on.
Opening night is Friday the 13th.
Can't beat that.
You
cannot beat it. And I think a deal, something that night, it's going to be great. All right.
Crazy.
Let's get into this last thing here, Brooke. I have the picture up right here.
Out of nowhere, by the way. This was out of nowhere. Like, is this where all the money went?
Jimmy Fallon's Tonightmares is going to be at Rockefeller Center. Yeah, I say Rockefeller that way.
Rockefeller.
Okay. It's going to go down from like September 20th through Halloween. Tickets are $36 for a 10-minute experience.
Yeah.
It's 10 rooms in this event.
On the real, though, if there's 10 rooms and on their website they said it's approximately 10 minutes through, what are you running through? Or like the room, like... That's just, I feel like they underestimated the amount of time.
Here's the thing. Rockefeller is a, why do I keep saying it like that? I feel like I'm a Jay-Z stan. Rockefeller is is an office building.
Fair.
And in this office building, there's got to be a section that's empty.
Yeah.
That has 10 rooms, like, on each side of a hallway.
Can I just say, this is actually the first time where I wish Mr. Wonderful was on the show, because he grew up on Long Island. No.
What's this guy doing?
Hold on. Because is this like one of the first times that they have, obviously I know with Jimmy Fallon, yes, but like
done a
haunted
haunt?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, there's haunts probably all over New York City, okay? But I think this is the first time for this kind of thing. You got to think.
And it's with HHN.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that for a second.
Okay.
I just want to finish your kind of thing here. Is like, they do Christmas events, like the tree lighting and stuff like that. I just think they figured out a way to do a spooky event and to tag it along with Comcast and tag it along with HHN. As you just said, their show managers or whatever the fuck they're called, they're doing the event. It makes me wonder though, 10 rooms, is it necessarily you're walking into a room and walking out?
I think so, yeah.
That's weird to me.
No. We do a lot of haunted houses that are like that you go in a room and then you're out into the next room.
Yeah, but I'm talking
think that it's
like,
no.
I'm talking like in this hallway that has offices.
No.
It goes,
No. I
I
think No. I think that it's like a winding thing, so as you leave one, you're going into the next.
Okay.
I don't think it's like, what's behind this door?
I shit you not, when it was announced, that's what I thought it was. Just like, can you believe Panda's banging this guy in here? Hashtag yo problems. Panda?
But are you actually putting a hashtag there or saying the name of Panda?
Is it an IP? So, for me, I'm not excited about this.
You're not?
Not for me to go. I'm excited that the event is happening.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I have no interest to drive 6 hours for a 10-minute event that costs almost the same price as Busch Gardens Hollow Scream.
Okay.
I have no interest.
It does say, like, as you venture through each meticulously crafted area, prepare to encounter an array of sinister characters, run from a deranged and diabolical mad scientist, malfunctioning murder robots, a terrifying werewolf, and other nightmarish creatures.
Right.
Each room is more horrifying than the last.
If anything, and again, I don't think it's the same. See, it's a 10-minute experience, i.e., it's a HHN house.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay,
and
fair,
this is a good tryout for Las Vegas.
Oh, I never thought of that. That is a really good.
Like, does it have to be in Orlando or Hollywood to, like, translate?
Right.
This is a good test, in my opinion. Does it make me want to go?
No.
Absolutely not. Can't wait to look at the vloggers.
Oh, for
rush
sure.
towards it. Okay? I bet some of them are going to be super enthused. And then some of them are going to be like, hey, friends. And I can't wait for any of these moments to happen.
No, but I will say, what did you think of can you pull up the concept art for
Absolutely.
it again?
Yeah.
What did you think of the concept art of it? For it?
They did harder work on this than half of the
but that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
it's legit. You got the werewolf that you talked about. You got
Yeah.
a reaper. You got an elevator with some fire on it. Like skeletons over here.
Yeah.
Like,
well, hashtags in there.
Hashtags being held by Jimmy. Like, it's done super well. You could tell it's PG-13 horror.
Yeah.
And I like it.
For sure.
I do
do
like
say
it.
nobody.
Don't get it
They
twisted.
do suggest no one under 14, but it's very
Sure.
interesting that they say that because it's also like bring your friends and family.
Yeah. Look, I don't hate Jimmy Fallon like some people hate him. I don't like his ride at Universal. Like I said, I love going through the queue.
Yeah.
After that, they didn't know what to do with it. Like, they built a tremendous queue, and then someone said, what about the ride? Oh, just slap a screen and him
Isn't
driving.
that a quote or something like that.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
similar
I
in a
don't
movie.
know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I just, with this,
Do you
knowing
built
that.
it knowing they would come, or I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry. You're welcome. Do you know the quote?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, so tell me how wrong I am.
It's usual Brooke movement here. It's, you're on it. You're even saying words that are belonging to said phrase.
Okay, what's the phrase?
If you build it, they will come.
Oh, that's not what I meant for this.
No, but you still said, if you build it, they'll come, right?
Did I say that?
Yeah, look at the tape. Look at the tape. Play it back. I don't have that technology here.
This isn't Real Housewives.
Oh, God. I got receipts, timelines, video, audio. All right. But for me, what a cool event.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. It reminds me of Ellen's Andy guy going through HHN houses, but they were like, well, let's do it inside. Let's do it with that. It's stereotypical Orlando. Let's get media, but not send them to us. Let's do it somewhere else. I.e. Hollywood getting every actor to be a part of it.
Right. I will be very interested because of it having Jimmy Fallon's name with it.
Yeah.
How much of media versus like, obviously he has a lot of famous people that are friends, and that in itself would,
if they're in New York, let me record you going through my house and we'll air it on Tonight Show.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
So I feel like some people that might.
Oh, did you like that? Well, make sure you go to Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights and you'll enjoy it. So good. So good.
Over under. Justin Timberlake goes to the house.
Can he drive to it?
No. On that note, stay scary, my friends.
Bye, bye, bye.